What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, talking today about the Ataribox, because finally we got some new details on it, although what we learned today is pretty dang confusing. So right now the GDC is going on, that's the Game Developers Conference. This is a special event that goes down in San Francisco where all the biggest game makers in the planet kind of get together to trade secrets and sort of just collaborate. This is also a time where a lot of games journalists get to really talk to people that are inside the industry, and people who want to reveal their big secret projects usually give us a sneak peek. Well, for some shocking reason, Atari actually showed up, and they actually came with some new details about their console. Now, I have to put that in quotes because so far we still haven't actually seen a prototype. While they are sitting down and doing interviews that are giving us a little bit more insight on what this is, they are still just showing off concept art. This is what appears to be the finalized version of the Ataribox, which has now been officially renamed the Atari VCS. Now, if you're probably in your late 30s or early 40s, you may already know that name. There's already been a system called the Atari VCS that came out way back in the 70s. They're literally just taking that name and slapping it on a new console. So, what's really baffling about all this is two things. First and foremost, let's look at those controllers. From what they're implying in their interviews, when you buy this system, you'll get both of these. One is called the Retro controller, and one is called the Modern controller. And if you look at it, it is just an Xbox controller. No real variations made at all. I mean, seriously, every single part of it. They may have changed the color scheme, but other than that, absolutely nothing has been altered. In fact, while doing some investigating for this video, I started to go across their website in super close detail, and I actually found an image hidden at the bottom of the page which shows somebody using the Ataribox. This is probably the only picture of an actual Ataribox that exists. And what's really funny is in that guy's hand is definitely an Xbox 360 controller. Even in that art, they knew what they were trying to rip off. What's really interesting about this image as well is, if we zoom in on the TV, you can see that that is definitely Terraria, but they made it slightly blurrier. In the interviews they've been doing over the course of the last 72 hours, they've finally given us some real actual notes as to what we're going to be playing on this. And it appears to be indie games like Terraria, and also, well, basically really old retro stuff. We're talking ancient Atari 2600 stuff. The reason I'm saying that is because now that they've renamed the console the Atari VCS, they redid all of their branding, including their Twitter. So I followed the new Twitter account, and it did the first tweet since they renamed it, and they straight up said, "We're going to be packing in classic Atari games." That means that this thing is probably going to be a $250 or $300 indie box, and nothing else. Talk about lacking your freaking features. Now, this is definitely going to become the next Ouya, because there is no way that anybody is going to get behind this. Somebody asked me why I have such a weird grudge against the Ataribox, and I actually want to talk about that. I don't have a grudge. I have nothing against the Ataribox. I just love Atari. I grew up with it. I'm wearing an Atari shirt right now, and actually, my first memory I've ever had, the first memory in my brain of being alive, is sitting down in front of an Atari 2600 and playing Big Bird's Big Egg Hunt. That's literally the first thing I can possibly remember. It's the thing that I feel like is when my body first felt alive, is when I played a game. I grew up loving Atari, so seeing this other company steal the name and try and scam people is ridiculous. And I stand by the fact that I do believe that this is something really, really weird. They're definitely just trying to do this for cash. They bought the rights, and they're doing anything they can to possibly get people to buy this. The reason I'm willing to say that this does seem so creepy and something is definitely not right is the fact that, well, they keep trying to reach out for cash first. even now, at the end of this series of interviews they did, they always said, we're going to be talking about pre-orders in April, which means in the next couple weeks, they're still going to try and do something that gets your cash. They are just hurting to get this product on the market by any means necessary. It doesn't matter if it's ready, it doesn't matter if developers have actually made anything yet, they just care about selling it. Behind the scenes, they've even been reaching out to investment firms to try and get cash right now. I mean, look at that whole mess with freaking Roller Coaster Tycoon. They seriously were asking people to buy in like at $1,000 a share to make another Roller Coaster Tycoon game. Everything about this is clearly off. I'm still going to be open-minded for when the console comes out, if it comes out, but I still feel like something is really, really off base. So I want to make an analogy real quick, because I have a philosophy, which is a good product sells itself. And I always stand by that. The idea that the better your game is, or the better your console is, the less you need to talk about it. I feel like a really interesting example of this is Skyrim. Now, this is honestly one of the highest selling games of all time at this point, but funny enough, at the beginning, there wasn't a ton of marketing. They did a couple live-action commercials, which were obviously very expensive to create, but they knew that it would sell. Right out the gate, that was an explosive bestseller because of word of mouth. Everybody was talking about it. And Bethesda has already built up a reputation as being a studio that knows good design. Okay, their projects honestly have a lot of glitches, and sometimes there's weird errors to it, but the adventures they create are so phenomenal, you're always willing to buy them. They know that what they make is going to be legendary. They have created something that deserves our cash. Ataribox, or now the Atari VCS, is trying to go into uncharted waters. They are very much trying to sell us on nostalgia and nothing else. They're coming in with a name we know and brands we know, but with stuff that I don't think that even they understand. If you're an indie developer right this second who is trying to come out with this game that they've been working on for months and months, pouring all their blood, sweat, and tears into, and your options are release it on Steam to millions of people, put it on PS4 to millions of people, or put it on Xbox One to millions of people, are you really going to choose option D? Ataribox, which is probably only going to have an install base of 100,000 people? At the end of the day, my issue with Ataribox comes down to the fact that I don't think that they really care about their own product. They just want to try and milk nostalgia. Try and get anything out in front of us in an effort to try and snag some pre-orders, and you know what? That actually pisses me off. I'm fully willing to admit that. I love Atari. I grew up with Atari. Atari is in my blood. The 2600 is something that still means so much to me. So if you guys aren't going to care, I guess it's my job to care. Which means, I guess, maybe I shouldn't even be wearing this Atari shirt anymore. I mean, you guys are going to try and sell Ataribox shirts, I'm sure. So, you know what? Yeah, you know what? This shirt's done. Screw this. Let's do this. Alright, so what we're going to do here in this super echoey tiny bathroom is I'm going to finally burn my Atari shirt. But since I want to give it a nice Viking funeral, let's actually do this in style. Alright, so this should be nice and flammable. I'll just paint this on real sloppy-like. Perfect. Perfect, yeah, much more at the top. Alright. Oh god. Oh no. Too much. I'm just going to put it all over the place. Okay. Okay, now that it's heavily doused, I just want to say for safety reasons, my cameraman is actually a military-trained fire expert. So,
how you doing?
Yeah, so if this goes badly, Lee is going to save my life. How bad can this go, though, right? Okay. Oh my god, Jesus Christ, okay. Oh my god, Atari. Okay, let me just... Alright. Thank you so much for watching this horrible shit show, and be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I guess I'm just going to take a shower, but you guys have a great day. Oh, hey, I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.